Hello and welcome, my wonderful learners, viewers at home. You're welcome to another chemistry session with Mr. Philip Maman. Today on chemistry, we'll be looking at alkanes. Now, previous lessons we have discussed hydrocarbons where we saw alkanes, but today we'll be looking at Iupac nomenclature of alkanes. Very interesting and important topic in your understanding of organic chemistry. I'd like you to follow me with your pens and papers as we'll be explaining this topic extensively. Now, I'd like us to go back to our previous lessons where we discussed the alkanes. Remember, we say alkanes are organic compounds that have a general molecular formula of CnH2n plus 2, and they are characterized by a single bond. Now, we're going to be looking at the first 10 members of the alkane family, where we have methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, and decane, with their corresponding molecular formula. Today, I'll be introducing you to something new, and it's called the alkyl group. The alkyl group is also called a branch or a substituent that is attached to an organic compound. Now, the alkyl group have a general molecular formula of CnH2n plus 1, where methane CH4 is methyl CH3. You can see that the basic difference between an alkane and an alkyl group is just one hydrogen. Alkyl group have one hydrogen less than the alkane, such that when you have an alkyl group or a branch, instead of calling it methane, you call it methyl. You replace the ANE in alkane with YL. As we move further, you will be seeing how we will apply this in the naming of organic compound. Now, let's take an introduction into Iupac nomenclature. We say in naming alkanes, the following rules can be applied to make it easy. The rules are, obviously, students have said that naming of organic compounds are very difficult, but they are not actually difficult. They are just a little bit, you have to follow certain guidelines. And if you follow me today, you will get the rules. The four rules are longest chain rule, numbering rule, alphabetical order rule, and the comma and hyphen rule. Again, longest chain rule, numbering rule, alphabetical order rule, and the comma and hyphen rule. I'm sure you're already asking, what are these rules all about? Follow me and you will get to understand what they are about. I'll give you typical example to really illustrate what these rules are all about. Now, the longest chain rule states that identify the longest chain and give it the parent name. Now, the longest chain is the highest connected carbon atom. You will check all the possibilities of the carbon atom that are attached on this structure, and the highest number of connected carbon atom is the longest chain. Now, as it is illustrated here, you can see that the longest chain is outlined with a line that looks like an L. Here, the longest chain has an L shape, so that you can see from one carbon to carbon number 8. And because there are 8 carbon atoms connected in the longest chain, it becomes an octane. An octane is the 8th member of the alkane family. Now, take the next rule, as you will be seeing another rule as it applies in the Iupac nomenclature of alkane. Like you see in this next rule, we'll be looking at the numbering rule. Now, numbering rule has to do with the position of the alkyl group or the position of the branch. And the numbering rule states that numbering in alkane should be done in such a way that the branch chain or alkyl group is given the lowest number. That means you can number from bottom through the L shape to the 8th carbon atom, and you can also start from the right carbon number 1 through the L shape down. So you can see that by this numbering, we can see the first carbon on the L shape is 1. As you move up from your left to your right, as you can see it on the screen displayed. But you can do it alternatively. But before then, look at on carbon number 3, there's an alkyl group. And the alkyl group on carbon number 3 is a methyl group. And on carbon number 5, there's another alkyl group. And the alkyl group on carbon number 5 is an ethyl group. Now, the methyl group is CH3, while the ethyl group on carbon number 5 is C2H5. So if you carry 3 for methyl group CH3 and 5 on ethyl group C2H5, you say 3 plus 5 equals to 8. Now, another alternative is starting from your right to your left, and you will number in that order, as we'll be seeing shortly on the next slide. You can see on my next slide, the right, you can see carbon number 1 following through to the carbon number 8 on the L shape. So from your right to your left, you have your numbering done. And you can see that there is a methyl group on carbon number 4. Yes, on carbon number 4, there's an ethyl group. You can see C2, H1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on carbon number 6, there is a methyl group. Can you see C1, 1, 2, 3, H? So that's why we have 4 plus 6, making it 10. Now let's go back to look at the previous one where we have 8. Can you see your 8? Now let's come to this one where we have our 10. Now, you'll be asking it, which of these routes should we follow? Now, the rule says we should follow the routes that have the lowest number. And my question is, between 8 and 10, which one is the lowest? Your answers and your guess are as good as mine. That means 8 is the lowest number. And that's why we decided to follow this route. And by so doing, you find out that there is a methyl group on carbon number 3, and there's an ethyl group on carbon number 5. And that's why we say 3-methyl, 5-ethyl, then the parent name is octane. 3-methyl is showing you that there's a methyl group on carbon number 3. 5-ethyl is showing you that an ethyl group on carbon number 5. Then the parent name is octane. That's why it's 3-methyl, 5-ethyl, octane. Now let's go to the next rule, as we'll be seeing shortly displayed on my screen. My wonderful student, I know you are enjoying these lessons already. Now let's look at the next rule. The next rule is called the alphabetical order rule. Now this rule is applicable or can be applied in cases where there are substituents, and these substituents are more than one, or these alkyl groups are more than one, or these branching are more than one. Substituent, alkyl group, and branch refer to the same thing. As in this case, there is a methyl group and there's an ethyl group. Now, the alphabetical order rule states that branching, alkyl group, or substituent should be arranged in order of increasing alphabetical order. Let me go back to my previous slide where we had the name previously as 3-methyl, 5-ethyl octane. You agree with me? Alphabetically, E comes before M, which is the first alphabet in the name of the substituent. Again, E comes before M. So the alphabetical order rule states that we should rearrange this name, as you can see in this display on the screen. You can see it has been arranged to 5-ethyl, 3-methyl octane, agreeing with the alphabetical order rule. My wonderful student, this has agreed with the alphabetical order rule because E comes before M. My emphasis, 5-ethyl, 3-methyl octane. Now let's look at the last rule. Of course, the last rule is your comma and hyphen rule. Yes, did you hear me well? I said comma, as in comma in English language. And when you say hyphen, it's just a dash, as you can see in the bracket. The comma and hyphen rule is used to separate numbers and numbers, and number with an alphabet, such that we say numbers are separated using commas. That means if you have more than one number together, you separate them using a comma. And in between a number and an alphabet, we use a hyphen. That means if there is a number before or after an alphabet, you use a hyphen. And that's why we have 5-ethyl, hyphen 3 hyphen methyl octane. So you can see the hyphen here is separating this number 5 and E. The hyphen here is separating this letter L and 3. And the hyphen here is separating 3 and methyl, or M, before we can give the name. So it's 5-ethyl, 3-methyl octane. I'm sure you have understood this, but remember, we have not seen where there are two numbers. Remember, we have not seen where there are two numbers close together. So my next example will illustrate that. So I will take you quickly through this next example. But now I know that you have become professionals in Iupac Nomenclature of alkane. So I will not take too much time in explaining the procedure again. We have identified our longest chain to be 5 carbon atoms. That's why the name is pentane. You can see that there are 2 branches on carbon number 2, one at the bottom and one at the top. And that's why we have 2-methyl, 2 methyl again. Then on carbon number 4, there is 1 methyl group. So the name is 2 methyl, 2 methyl, 4 methyl pentane, which is the parent name. To make it simpler and make our work logical, you can see that there are 2 numbers here, 2, 2, 4 trimethyl pentane. So in between 2 and 2, we separate with a comma. 2 and 4 we separate with a comma, and 4 and T we separate with a hyphen. And that's how we came about 2,2,4 trimethyl pentane. That's the name of this organic compound. My wonderful student, to be sure learning has taken place, I would like you to go as usual, do my assignment. And when you do my assignment, please, you can always come and reach me on this number, 08026598861. The assignment is, what is the Iupac name of the compound below? The condensed formula is CH3, CH2, CH, open bracket, CH3, CH, C2H5, CH2, CH3. I'm sure you know that if there is a CH3 in a bracket or there is a C2H5 in the chain, it stands for a branch. I'm sure you can play around this, and please contact me on my WhatsApp number if you have any issues. But remember, you can also visit my YouTube channel to see a series of videos that we have on different topics. And you can suggest to us what topic you want us to treat that is difficult to you. My wonderful student, I'll be glad if you can subscribe to that YouTube channel. Just click the subscription button and type in your details. You'll be glad you did. You will follow me subsequently with new topics and interesting topics. I wish you a blessed day. Do enjoy your studies. Remember, my name is Mr. Philip, and I'll be glad to teach you chemistry anytime you are in need of any topic. So, thank you. God bless you, and have a pleasant